Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to be talking about, is the Shimano SLX DC worth it? Now, I bought this reel about a year and a half ago, and I've been using it ever since then. So far, what I've noticed is just overall, I have not really had any issues with it. And as I'm going through this video, I'm going to be fishing a little and hopefully catching some fish just to show. Obviously, as all DC reels, it makes that iconic zing sound when you cast it. So personally, I spooled mine with braid, and I have 30-pound Power Pro on it, which is actually the Shimano brand for line. And smoothness, this is probably, I want to say, my second or third most smooth reel. My first one is probably going to be the Shimano Tranks, and my second is probably, actually it's probably this one. So just from observation, smoothness is almost as good as it can be. Now performance wise, obviously this thing has 4 casting modes. It has number 1, which is the least applied braking, still no backlash. It's got number 2, which is like, it's still got brake but just slightly less. Slightly more braking, so you're not going to get as much casting distance, but that's what I would use most of the time. Number 3 is what you would want to use on a rainy day, so you can still get casting distance if you throw it hard, but it's almost guaranteed that you will not backlash. Setting number 4 is the most applied digital braking. So basically what that does is it does decrease your casting distance a lot, but for example, if you're going to be skipping or casting in like insanely heavy wind or heavier baits, that's what you would want to use to absolutely minimize your backlashing. Now, it is still possible to backlash a DC reel, but here's how most people end up doing it. So when you backlash, it's actually not because of the automatic braking. The reels still have I completely forgot what it was called. The reels still have a spool tension knob, which basically is what adjusts how your bait falls after it's casted. The braking is just the mid cast. So like if I was gonna cast like this, it's not gonna backlash, but the second my bait hits the water, the spool tension comes into play. So you can still backlash, but just make sure your spool tension is set properly and you're good. It basically just eliminates having to thumb it as you're casting. Now, another thing that I have done is I've actually used this reel in saltwater. So this is not just like basic freshwater fishing standards. This reel has actually gone through a little bit of beating up. Now I do take good care of it, so I'm not like throwing it around or anything, but it still has gone through a little bit. So in saltwater, I have noticed that it performs the exact same. So you can go out and throw it in the bay or anything. One thing I have not done and will not do is use it in the surf, because if it does get enough salt water in it, like most reels, it will break. This reel has up to 11 pounds of drag, which is honestly probably more than you'll ever need, especially if you're just gonna be bass fishing. And one thing that I actually did was I put a custom handle on my reel. So this is a Gomexus. Now the original handle literally had nothing wrong with it. It had very good grip. I just wanted to, add a little bit of customization to mine. Now, the real question is it worth $200, or are there any better options? Now, if you're someone who likes fishing, you haven't like been fishing for years, and especially if you're relatively new to bait casters, if you can afford it, I would definitely go with a DC, just because it will save you a lot of time and a lot of effort. But if you just want a bait caster for $200, this I would say is worth it. But if you did not want to spend that much money, there are plenty of other options out there. You just really have to look and pay attention to what's good. So overall, in the past year and a half that I've had this reel, I have noticed 0 problems with it. And I had a fish on for a second. Now, as far as catching fish, here's what I've noticed. The drag, if you have it set, the drag does not slip at all. So if you set it to like 6 pounds of drag, you will have 6 pounds of drag. Like, it's not gonna automatically loosen or anything. which I have noticed in a couple of my other reels. So with this being the least expensive DC reel that you can buy, I would say it is probably the best one to start out with if you are going to get into DC reels. Now the Corrado DC is very popular, but it's no different than this. It's like, it's got a few differences, but overall, for what the basic needs are, it's the same. So, you know, why not spend less money? I got a fish. Oh, it just came off right there. All right. So to wrap up the review, I do think this reel is probably the best DC reel for the price, and probably one of the best bait casters in the $200 range. So if you've been thinking about it, and if you have the money, and you just want to watch this video to try and make up your mind, I would say go for it. You're not going to have any problems unless you're really rough with your gear, but if you just casually fish, or if you do fish seriously, as long as you're not throwing this on rocks or anything, you're probably not going to have any issues. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye and happy fishing.